Welcome back and thanks for tuning in. In the comments section for the dowel joint strength test, I got a comment regarding why don't I test miter joints? And this is for you, Colin. What I'm going to do here today is I am going to put a very simple jig together, but a jig that I can hopefully in the future, if this works out well, use for some other stuff I have planned. So this is just going to be two boards on a 45, and the reason why I'm choosing this particular board is it on a diagonal will still fit in my saw sled, which is kind of important here because I don't want to go to too much trouble to get this all to set up. So I'm going to be very careful here. First off, I'm going to square up this edge, and then what I'm going to do is cut it so that as square as I can get it. And then of course I'm going to put it on the diagonal and trim it up so they're both 45s. So these two boards, for this video, are just going to get clamped to the lead board for the saw sled, and then I'm going to use that to cut the miters. But going forward, I'm hoping if these things turn out to be good and square, and of course the 45 works out, use them for other videos going forward. Because I would like to try not just doing a miter joint, but I also like to try testing the strength for a miter with a dowel through it, a pair of dowels. And also the other thing I want to do in this particular video, because well, the 3/4 inch ply was fine. Unfortunately, because the laminate between the plies gave out in one of them, it kind of invalidated the test. So I'm going to use solid wood for this. I can't afford using oak or anything like that, so it's just going to be pine. But at least any give in any of the joints is going to be due to either the glue letting go in the joint or the dowels not holding up their strength, that sort of stuff. So for going forward for a little while at least, I am going to strictly stick to solid wood for this. So I've cut the board, a little overcut of course, and what I'm going to do now is creep on it, up on it until I get it as close as I can. What I probably should have done for this, in hindsight it would have been much faster, is simply put a stop block on the end of the saw sled, cut it once, flip it, and then cut it again. It would mean I would trim off a little bit of the width of the board, but that's fine. It's more than large enough for purposes going forward. But anyway, this worked out fine. I got it nice and square, and I also got it so that all the sides are the same length, which is very important for this. So like I said, I want to do a number of different styles of tests. I'd like to test out other joints. I mean, I'm really happy with dowel joints, and I see no reason to stop using them because it's quick, easy, you don't have to use screws, and like I said, it looks nice. But there are going to be times when I'm going to want to have a better 45 instead of just square joints like that, and this is going to be a nice way of doing that. So the miter is going to be very straightforward. Like I said, it's just a simple matter now of resting the back end right in the slot where the blade goes through, and then centering the lead end right in the middle of the blade. And like I said, it's very easy to do. I actually managed to get it quite accurate. I suspect it's off by some tiny fraction of a degree, but I can definitely use these going forward to make it more and more accurate. And like I said, I'm going to cut probably a couple more of these in the future, and then I'm going to use these as my basis for a slanted board, which is going to fit on probably the right hand side of the saw sled, clamp it into place, and like I said, it's going to give me a good place to do miters. I don't want to, the easiest way I suppose is just to take the saw sled off, put on a much more simple system that fits into the track, and then just turn the blade 45 degrees. But I have the blade really nice and square at the moment, and to me this is a simpler way of doing it, and that's basically all there is to it. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take that pine board, and I'm going to cut, because I was using 4 inches before, I was going to cut 4 more pieces at 4 inches. They're going to be going forward into other, like I said, strength tests. Once I do a few more things, they are going to be a set of another bunch of boards. So there's going to be 2 sets at 45, and then again, like I did last time, 3 sets at 90, and we'll try it all out again. That should be a video coming up fairly shortly. So there you go, those are the boards, nothing fancy. This, like I said, this is just pine. And what I'm going to do, this is 3/4 inch, by the way, so it is going to be somewhat comparable to the other test in the sense that they're the same thickness. And I'm going to do now is just going to square up these two pieces, clamp them to the head of the saw sled, and get everything where positioned it is. Going to cut the miters, and then I'm going to see if they are actually 45s. It's, like I said, very straightforward and simple to do. And that's that was what my main goal for this was. I wanted to make sure that I didn't spend too much time on this, just in case it doesn't work out the way I want. I don't want to have, you know, wasted a bunch of time setting this all up into something I can cut, and then I don't like the way it works. So very easy. Obviously, later on when I'm doing this more seriously, I will you know, have things clamped into place and avoid any kind of shifting. For this particular experiment, I don't need it to be accurate beyond a reasonable amount. So, as it turns out, I'm not sure it's going to show up here, but it is very close. I think it's off just by a tiny hair. But the acid test for this is when I cut one more here and then put it against a square block and see if there's any gaps. And as it turns out, there aren't any gaps at all. But, you know, hold on a second, wait till I get to that point. Once I put the other board in here and get everything firmed up together, you're going to see there's a slight difference in their overall squareness. I'm going to see if you can see it here. That's all good, but in the back end as I flip it, just ever so, there you go, ever so slightly off, but it might just been the way I was holding it. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Leave comments, let me know what you think about this. And as I said, going forward, I am going to test these out for their strength and compare them to the other dowel joints I've done. So leave comments, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next video, and bye for now.